Hi, my name's Rob Scopel. I'm Cub Master for Pack 263 in St. Petersburg, Florida. Welcome to another episode of Camp Smarter Not Harder. I'm here with my friend Monty, and we're going to talk to you today about Leave No Trace. Now, Leave No Trace is a principle that everyone should abide by, not just Scouts. We are going to go through the 7 different principles, and before we get started, if you do like the video, please like and subscribe, and be sure to hit the bell for the post notifications, and we will get started. The first Leave No Trace principle is plan ahead and prepare. Now, this seems pretty obvious, but there's a lot more to it than just looking at what amenities your campground has. Not only do you have to worry about that, but you also have to worry about the type of campground you're going into. Is it a primitive? Is it something where you're going to necessarily trample over habitats, things like that? So you really have to know where you're going and how you're going to spend your time. That tells you what you're going to need to bring and what you're going to need to do while you're there to make sure that you don't interfere with wildlife and keep the ground safe. Like this park here, there's a dedicated trail. A lot of parks might not have that, but if you know you have a dedicated trail to get you where you need to go, you don't have to go off trail for anything. And that way, you're not interfering with wildlife, you're not creating new trails, which messes up animal migration, that kind of thing. So make sure that you just stick to the established trail. The second principle is to travel and camp on durable surfaces. Now, this kind of ties in with the first, to be prepared. If you have established hiking trails, if you have a campground that's already been used, if you have established campfire rings, that's where you want to camp. If you must camp where there's no established campground, then you're going to have to make sure to minimize your impact as much as possible. Like so. The third principle of Leave No Trace is to dispose of waste properly. If there are no trash receptacles or recycle bins, go ahead and bring your own trash bags and pack away your trash. That goes for wastewater and human waste as well. Any sort of wastewater, you don't want to dump that near drinkable water. That affects the animals. What you want to do is make sure you are at least 200 feet away from any water source when you dispose of that wastewater. When it comes to human waste, if there are no restrooms, then you would need to pack that away as well. Bring sealable bags and keep it in there, and then throw it away when you get back to civilization. If you are unable to do that, then grab your shovel and dig. Again, at least 200 feet away from drinkable water. And the holes that you dig need to be at least 6 to 8 inches deep, and then cover them when you're done. The fourth Leave No Trace principle is to leave what you find. And I know what you're going to say, but Mr. Rob, I found a really cool rock, and look at this stick I can play swords with. Well, first of all, no, because you're going to poke an eye out. Secondly, you just leave what you find. Just leave it there. You don't want to take anything from anywhere. That includes, if you find that really cool bird egg, leave it alone. The other thing is, if you have existing structures, use those. If you have established campsites, you don't want to build extra structures or anything, even if there's a lot of wood laying around that you're not going to use for the campfire. Don't do it. Leave what you find and use what you have. The fifth Leave No Trace principle is to minimize campfire impacts. I know, you don't think a camping trip is complete without a fire, but the potential for damage is a lot higher than you'd think. Consider using a portable stove or other source of heat for your cooking. If you have to have a fire, make sure you use an established campfire ring, or if you don't have one, if you're primitive camping and there's not one available, make sure you have an open area that's free of debris that could catch. When possible, make sure that you burn your wood down to ash. You don't want to leave any, that's Leave No Trace, right? So you want to burn your firewood down to ash, and then make sure that your fire is out completely before you leave the campsite. The sixth principle of Leave No Trace is to respect wildlife. Now, that means that the animals are not here for your amusement. You need to, if you want to view animals, you do it from afar. And by all means, do not feed the animals, and that means directly or indirectly. You do not want them getting used to humans. So that means if you're cooking out, be sure to stow away not only your food, but your food scraps, because they could get into that, and that just creates a whole world of problems. So be sure to be mindful of your trash. The seventh leave no trace principle is to be considerate of other visitors. Now that includes visitors that are at the hiking trail or the campsite or whatever when you're there, also for future visitors. You want to make sure to keep your music low, let the sounds of nature take over. If you must listen to music, keep it low, wear earbuds. Also, there may be private property that abuts where you are on the hiking trail or on the campsite. So, if that's the case, you want to leave their property alone. If any gate is open, leave it open. It's open for a reason. If a gate is closed, leave it closed. It's closed for a reason. So be sure to be considerate of other visitors, residents, what have you. Well, that's been our 7 leave no trace principles. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If so, please like and subscribe and hit the bell for the post notifications. I'm Rob Scopel, and until next time, may the great master of all scouting be with us till we meet again.